So today we will discuss loop antennas. Loop antennas are quite similar to dipole antennas. Actually, we can say that loop antennas have evolved from dipole antennas. So there is a small difference. If I have a dipole, it is like this. Here I have, it is a small current carrying element, okay, and the current element is IDL. Whereas in a loop, we have something like this. Current goes like this and it meets here. So it is, this is loop, this is a dipole. So we can say that dipole has come from open end transmission lines, whereas loops have evolved from close end transmission lines. So if the loop size is small, if I have a very small loop, then the voltage will be very small and would result in a large current. Okay, it would result in a large current and thus resulting in small resistance. Okay, so I will write here that if loop size is small, so the voltage over the loop will be small and will have large current. Okay. So what do I mean by loop size? It is the electrical length of the loop. Here by size we mean the electrical length. So if electrical length is small, voltage is small on the loop, current is large. Okay. If current is large, then it means the input impedance of the loop is small. Input impedance of the loop is small. So I will write here that impedance and this would result in large reactance. This would result in large reactance. So if generally the loops have small electrical length, generally because the antennas are used at very high frequency for radiations. So these loops have very small size, so thus they have very small voltage and more or less a large constant current. Okay. So now we have very high input impedance, so sometimes it is very difficult to match these antennas to another circuitry, because the standard resistance are generally 50 ohms or 100 ohms and these resistance are more than that, and we know that for perfect power transmission the load or the impedance should be matched. Okay. So matching very high impedance to 50 ohms or 100 ohms or 75 ohms becomes slightly difficult, so they are very rarely used in transceiver systems. कहीं भी ट्रांसमीटर और रिसीवर इकट्ठे बनाना है, wherever we have a transceiver, loop antennas are not used, but mostly all the pages or the handheld mobile device, जो आपके पहले pages चलते थे या जितने भी handheld mobile device हैं उनमें loop antenna use किया जाता है. Okay, and once we do the analysis we will get to know that why we use loop antennas in such devices. Now for analysis of these loop antenna, we have done the analysis of simple dipole and we had taken the Maxwell's equations and then we had calculated theta, phi and r components of electric and magnetic field using Lorentz transformation, the gauge transformation, and then we had derived some equation. Then what we did, we found the Poynting vector, because ultimately we are interested that what kind of power this particular antenna would radiate, and from that Poynting vector we calculated the radiation resistance. Okay. So, now for this loop antenna, either we can do the same method, we can do the same thing, or we can look into a new method which is called a duality principle. So, we will solve loop antenna using duality principle. In a moment I will tell you what duality principle is, but the reason for doing this is that duality principle is much simpler than the conventional method. Okay. So, what actually duality means? So, if I have to define duality, we all know in broad sense what duality is, because we have read about duality in physics principles. So, duality is when we try to explain, or if we want to give one explanation to two closely linked phenomenon, like we say that light has got dual nature. Okay, light has got dual nature. So, that duality, if we can explain that using one principle, then we say that there is duality. Wave nature and particle nature are two distinct nature, but they are closely linked. They are dependent on the speed of the particle with which it is going to move. If the speed is less or if the mass is more, then the particle nature will be predominant. If mass becomes less and speed increases, then wave nature becomes dominant. So, similarly in explaining antenna also, if both the antennas are going to radiate, whether it is a loop antenna, it is a phased array antenna or a dipole antenna, all antennas are going to radiate some electromagnetic radiation. Now, it depends that what is the radiation pattern, what is going to be the radiation resistance. All these things would differ depending upon the structure or configuration of antenna. So, it means the radiations are quite closely linked in all the antennas. Now, we should find some link between one radiation pattern and the other radiation pattern, and radiation patterns are governed by the electric and magnetic field. So, if we can find a relationship between the electric and magnetic field of two antennas, then we can link them together. So, by knowing electric and magnetic field of one antenna, we can write the expression for electric and magnetic field of other antenna. This is basically is the duality principle. Okay. Now, from Maxwell's equation we have two curl equations. So, I say that they are del cross E is equal to minus I omega B. Is it okay? Del cross E is equal to minus del B by del T. Is it okay? And similarly, I have del cross B is equal to, बताइए, with Ampere's correction, mu I will say mu 1, say, or I will just write mu naught means air. Now, the medium could be anything. Okay, I will write mu. Now, this current here is due to the electrical charges. So, I will define here that this is mu JE. JE means current due to electrical charges, and plus, sorry, बताइए, हाँ, हाँ, mu E I omega E, mu epsilon I omega E. I omega factor is coming because I am assuming that my wave is moving as E is equal to E naught e to the power I omega t. The time dependent part is coming there as I omega. Okay. Now, from duality principle, I can straight away write what duality principle says is that by knowing the field expression for one, we can write the field expression for the other element. Okay. Now you see here in an antenna the current is because of the magnetic field. In an antenna current, if I have a loop antenna, see you have a loop in which current is circulating. Okay. So that circulating current will give rise to magnetic field. Or if suppose you keep the loop, if you keep the loop in a changing magnetic field, there will be current in the loop. Okay. So it means in the loop current is because of the magnetic field, whereas here current was because of the charge available in the medium, right. Oscillating charge will give rise to electromagnetic radiation, and oscillating magnetic field will give rise to electromagnetic radiations. Okay. Because magnetic monopole do not exist, so we cannot say that magnetic charges will give rise to magnetic current. It is the magnetic field that will give rise to some magnetic current. So duality principle says that if suppose in one system like in dipole there are two charges separated, but in a loop it need not be so. Okay, in a loop it need not be so. So if in one system current is due to electrical charges, in another system current is due to the magnetic effects, then we can simply change the electric field and magnetic field, interchange, replace E by B and B by E, okay, and replace the parameters here, replace mu by epsilon and epsilon by mu, and what you get is the field equation for the new system. Is it clear? If in one system current is due to electrical charges, however in another system which is quite similar, but we know that the current is generated because of magnetic effects, then we can write straight away, the Maxwell's equation or the expression for E and B by knowing the expression for E and B in the previous system. Okay. So the interchange table is, so I have parameters E, B, mu and epsilon, say in medium 1 or system 1. So this is 1, 1, 1, 1. Then I have system 2. So now E1 will become B1. E1 will become B2 in system 2, but B1 will become minus E2. So when you change B, there should be a negative sign. When you change B, there should be a negative sign. So this will become minus E2 and this will become epsilon 2 and this will become mu 2. So this is the duality interchange table. So following this table, you can actually in a straightforward way, from the equations that we had derived for dipole, we can calculate the electric and magnetic field straightforward for a loop antenna, and this is called the duality principle. So from here I can write these equations again. I say that this is E1, this is B1, this is B1 mu 1 epsilon 1 E1. So I can write the new equations for system 1. These equations are for system 1. Then I can write new set of equations for system 2. They will be del cross B2 is equal to I omega E2. Is it okay? Because B2 will become B1 will become minus E2, right? And then here I will have del cross B1. So B1 will become minus E2. So I will have here del cross E2 is equal to minus epsilon 2 Jm. I should have written here Je will become Jm, one more parameter. If you have electrical current in the first medium, in the second medium it will become magnetic current, minus E2 j m and minus I mu 2 epsilon 2 omega B 2. This is the second equation. I have taken the negative sign here. Okay. So, the interesting thing is, बताइए, हाँ, यहाँ पे देखिए डेल क्रॉस E2 है, B2 माइनस E2 हो जाएगा और वो नेगेटिव साइन हम यहाँ पे ले आए हैं, ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग देखिए, द वेव विल ऑलवेज प्रोपगेट विद द सेम स्पीड. This expression for the speed doesn't change, it will only depend upon the material property, whether you change anything. So, it means in this medium if the material parameters are mu 2 and epsilon 2, then wave is going to propagate with 1 upon under root of mu 2 epsilon 2. If in this medium, if the material properties are like this, wave is going to propagate by 1 by under root mu 1 epsilon 1. So, the basically the wave propagation, the way or the velocity, phase velocity, group velocity of the wave is not going to get affected. So, it means these transformations are completely valid. Okay. Now, using these transformation, we are going to derive the radiation resistance for a loop antenna. So, using this, so for first what we will do, we will write expression for the electric field of a loop antenna. So, first I will tell you how the radiation pattern from a loop would look like. So, if I have a loop which is like this, okay, it is a circular loop of say radius A, and if I say that circumference of the loop is C, if circumference of the loop is C, then C is equal to 2 pi A, and then in order to have constant current, because if my current is changing, then I will not be able to do the analysis for this particular loop. So, in order to have constant current, I would like to have small electrical length. So, I impose a condition that this is less than lambda by 3. That circumference of a loop antenna for radiation purpose should be less than lambda by 3. So, whatever frequency you choose to work on, then just the wavelength or the length of the loop should be less than lambda by 3. If you happen to choose length of the loop as lambda, such loops are called resonant loops. If the loop length is equal to one wavelength, then such loops are called resonant loops. So, we do have some application where we need resonant antennas. So, there such conditions are, the loops are designed using such conditions. So, now we are only interested in radiation. So, I will assume that the circumference, C means circumference 2 pi A, okay. It is the perimeter of the loop is equal to 2 pi A, and for radiation the electrical length should be small, thus the length is always less than lambda by 3. Okay. Now, in dipole we were interested in knowing the radiation pattern in the radial direction, because we knew that in a normal dipole there was no radiation along the phi direction, whereas in a dipole in a loop antenna we will have radiation pattern like this. Okay. I will just check. Just one second. Initially, if these conditions are met, if my loop is like this, then the radiation pattern is like this, not in the vertical direction, it is like this. For a moment, let us forget about the feed. These are feed lines, straight lines are feed lines. Okay. Let us forget about the feed. So, this is the radiation pattern from a loop generally. Okay. So, it means I need to know the theta and phi components. I need to know the theta and phi components. I do not need to know the radial component. So, using the equations that we had derived for a dipole, simple dipole, there we had derived, we knew that in that case E phi was 0, यदि आपको याद हो E phi 0 आया था. So, what I can do, I can write expression for E theta and B phi, E theta and B phi. And if I take a cross product of E theta and B phi, I will get the Poynting vector, and from the Poynting vector I can calculate the radiation resistance. Okay. So, I am going to do that. I am going to write the theta and phi component of electric and magnetic field for an electric dipole, oscillating electric dipole. So, those equations are E theta is equal to I delta L, where delta L is the circumference length of the loop. Okay. I delta L divided by 4 pi r beta sin theta e to the power j I beta r, where beta takes into account the retarded potential as well as the propagation term. हम आपको याद हो हमने t minus r by c कर दिया था, so that takes into account that. Okay. And then I have b phi. B phi is equal to I delta L divided by 4 pi r beta sin theta e to the power, this is negative I beta r. So, here I am writing that ER, in this case ER is equal to E phi is equal to 0, and in this case I am writing that HR is equal to H theta is equal to 0. Okay. So, now you can see from this I am very sure that my wave is going to propagate, radiation is going to be along the R direction. So, you see here there is no radiation along the R, there is no ER, no HR. Okay. So, if I have these field components, then E cross B power will be along the radial direction. So, in order to find the power from the Poynting vector, P will be equal to E phi E theta cross H phi by 2, average power. Okay. And this is equal to E theta cross B phi divided by 2 mu naught, 2 mu. ठीक है. So, when I do that and I calculate, so now I will take a small surface area. Surface area of this loop will be S will be 2 pi a square. It will be equal to 2 pi a square. Okay. When I do that and I integrate it over the surface, what will be the surface? R square sin theta d theta d phi, जैसे हमने last time किया था, उसी तरीके से if we do the integration over theta and phi, I get an expression which is something like this, the expression for average power. It is the P total, that is total power radiated I will write here, this is P average. Okay. When I multiply this average power by the surface area, I get the total power radiated from the entire loop. Here I am only interested in a small length element delta L over the loop. whereas I want to know that what is the power radiated from the entire loop. For that I will multiply this average power radiated from small length element delta L with the entire area, okay, like we did earlier, and I get an expression Pt is equal to 20 pi square beta square a square I0 to the power 2, or I can say that radiation resistance Rr is Pt divided by I0 square, okay, I0 square. So, I have 20 pi square beta a whole 4. So, you can do this multiplication and integrate it over theta from 0 to pi and phi from 0 to 2 pi, and you will end up with this expression. So, I can see here that radiation resistance is 20 pi square times beta propagation constant and the radius of the loop. So, it means radius of the loop is very important in deciding the radiation resistance. The A here is very important in deciding the radiation resistance of the loop. Now, what happens if I change the A, if I increase A? If I increase the radius of the loop, resistance is going to increase. If I increase R, resistance is going to increase. So, what happens? The loop which was initially radiating like this, on increasing the radius of the loop, if you keep on increasing this A, you increase it, then what happens? This slowly it starts to turn. So, the omnidirectional radiation pattern in the horizontal direction after certain length becomes a vertical pattern. It moves like this, okay, it goes like this, it turns. So, it means by changing the length of the loop, we can get radiation pattern in any direction. If you increase further, if you increase this radius further, then it will, now what is happening? Now I have something which is radiating like this. For some A plus delta A, I have increased A by some amount. If I increase this length further, now it will start to radiate in all possible direction. It will have a very complicated radiation pattern. Now it is omnidirectional. It is radiating only in the vertical plane. Here also it was omnidirectional. It was radiating in the horizontal direction. But if I increase A further, it will start to radiate in a very complicated manner. It will have something like this. It can have a complicated radiation pattern like this. So, the advantage of having loops are, we can see that we can get any type of, we can get radiation pattern by just setting the radius of the loop. We do not need to do anything. Okay. Another thing, these loop antennas are small, so they can be integrated into a device and their directivity is very, very high. Means they give very focused radiation in one direction. Their directivity is very high, it is around 9 dBi. The directivity of loop antenna is about 9 dBi, which is much larger than their dipole antennas, their electrical counterparts. Okay. So, only problem with them is their high resistance. Only problem they have is their high resistance. So, because they have very high resistance, they are never part of any integrated systems. Okay, because they have very high resistance, so they cannot be part of any integrated system. But you have any isolated system, there you can feed your system with a loop antenna. Okay. And if you want to have radiation, if you want to have a radiating antenna, then the circumference of the antenna should always be less than lambda by 3, any value less than lambda by 3, it is desired. And the moment your circumference is equal to lambda or it is equal to 1 wavelength, then it becomes a resonant antenna. Okay. So, this is about loop antennas, and this finishes your course also. So, if you have any problem, you may please ask.